शङ्करांश भूम शङ्करार्यपीठसद्गुरून् शुद्धसत्त्वभासुरान् सुवर्त्मनीतभूसुरान् सर्वभूतसौख्यदान् क्षमाकरान् यतीश्वरान्।
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रीहरिं परमानन्दं तारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्। अपरोक्षानुभूतिर्वै प्रोच्यते मोक्षसिद्धये सद्भिरेव प्रयत्नेन वीक्षणीया मुहुर्मुहुः। So we have completed the yoga practice, that is for Nididhyasana, up to 134. Now we have to enter into the Vichara part of it. That is being Shloka 134, 135. Shloka Otira, Vidalakshmi.
कार्ये कारणता याता कारणे नहि कार्यता कारणत्वं ततो गच्छेत् कार्याभावे विचारतः। कार्ये in the effect, कारणता the cause, आयाता concurrent, कारणे in the cause, न not, ही verily, कार्यता the effect, कारणत्वं the cause, ततः therefore, गच्छेत् goes, karyabhave in the absence of effect, vicharatah by logic or enquiry.
So the karya karana bhava is taken up for enquiry. The karanam is Brahman as per the Upanishads, and the karyam is the Jagat. And the Jagat will include the body-mind complex of the Jiva also. So this karya karana bhava is being now inquired into on the basis of the Upanishadic analogies of clay products, gold products, etc. Here also the same inquiry has to be taken up. So the Acharya says that the always we see in the world that only in the effect the cause is inhering, whereas in the cause the effect is not inhering. In a sense, the cause is the first in the sequence, the effect comes later. So the cause is always there independent of the effect. But then the effect which comes later, it does not stay independent of the cause. So for the effect to come, the cause has to be there. And for the effect to remain, the cause has to be there. And for the effect, ultimately when it gets destroyed, it merges into the cause. So this is the karya karana bhava. So here the cause always has a status higher than the effect. So here in this shloka, the Acharya says, karye karanata ayata. That is, in the effect, the cause is inherent. Karane nahi karyata, but the opposite is not true. That is, in the cause, the effect is not inherent. Karanatvam tato gachet karya bhave vicharataha. So when we have seen that the effect is not having an independent existence, finally it will transpire that the effect has no existence at all. So in that scenario, the cause need not be given the label cause. So the causehood is there only in relation or it is only in relative to the effect. The cause is called a cause. But then when the effect is no longer there by inquiry, by vichara, when we have concluded that the effect does not have an independent existence apart from the cause need not be called by the name cause. So the causehood in the cause also goes away. So this is the point conveyed in this sloka. So in the Vyakhyanam, the Acharya says, Tadevam Swabhimatam Sangam Rajayogam Abhidaya Purvapakranta Sankhya Apariparyayam Vedanta Vicharam Upasamharati Karya Ityadi Panchavihi Shlokaihi. So the Sangam, that is the various links of this Raja Yoga, which has certain terms from the Patanjali's yoga also. But then these have got a Vedantic meaning. So, Purva Upakranta Sankhya Aparapariyayam. So, up to Shloka 19, the Vedantic point was stated. And from the shloka 99 onwards, from the shloka 99 onwards, the vichara, that is, from the 100th shloka onwards, the Tri Panchanga Anya Panchangani Atho Bakshye Purvoktasya Hi Labdaye. So from the shloka 100 onwards, the Vedantic yoga has been taught, and that is being completed now. In 5 slokas, the conclusion is being stated, the culmination of the yogic practice. So that is the Vedantic yogic practice, which is called Raja Yoga here. Karye Ghatapatadi Rupe Vikare Karanata Mrittu Tantvadi Rupa Sarva Vikara Adhishtanata Ayata Anugata. Anugata means it is inherent. Karaneto Karyata Na Hiti Prasiddham. So Karye Ghatapatadi Rupe, for that the example given is a pot, a cloth, etc. In that, the cause, that is the clay in the case of pot, and the thread in the case of cloth. So these are always inherent in the effect, that is the pot or cloth. Because this cause is the adhishtanam, whereas the effect is the aropitam. So even though the word aropitam might seem to be out of place here, because this is not a Rajya-sarpa Brahma, but still, from the Vedantic point of view, the karyam is always a concoction, which the Upanishad also approves, because the Upanishad says the karyam is only mere name and form. It does not have any substantial existence apart from being the cause. So the cause alone is the real, the Upanishad uses the word real, satyam. Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam mritiketyava satyam. So it gives the label or name or the epithet real only to the cause and not to the effect. In fact, it denies the reality of the effect by the word namadheyam, which is called nama matram. It is only a mere name, that's all. So that way, the Upanishad itself has approved this concept of the cause being the adhishtanam and the effect being the aropitam or the adhyastha in the cause, superimposed in the cause. That is the substratum. Tataha karanat karyabhave karanatvam gachet. So the next step is, the first step is to recognize through vichara that the cause has an independent existence, whereas the effect does not have an independent existence, and the cause inheres in the effect, whereas the effect does not inhere in the cause. The next step is now to determine that the causehood itself is a misnomer. So there's no need to give the cause the label cause. Even though the cause does not get destroyed, it ceases to be the cause any longer, because there is no effect at all. So the labels cause, effect, and all that are only relative to each other. So when this relativity is transcended, no names are there possible at all. Nano katham karane karyabhavaha ityataha vichareti. But how can you say that the cause is not, the effect is not in the cause? So here he says, out of vichara we can find this out. Yatha ayam drishtantaha tata akashadi karye karanata. So in the case of after having determined in the case of the analogies, now we have to apply the same rule in the case of the Dashtantika, that is the Brahman and the world. So here the Akashadi Karye Karanata, that is in the Akasha, Vayu, etc. are all effects of Brahman, which are emanating from Brahman, and naturally they will have the Brahman content in them, whereas Brahman will not have the content of Akasha, etc. because they are only superimposed or they come only later. So this is the idea here conveyed. So he demonstrates how this happens. Akashe asti bhati ityadi vyavahara hetu bhuta satyajnanadi rupa brahmanaha karanata ayata anugata karane brahmanito akashadi karyata nahiti. So in the Akasha, that is the first evolute from Brahman, Atmana Akasha Sambhutaha. So the Akasha is the first evolute which has come out of Brahman. Akashe asti bhati ityadi vyavahara hetu bhuta. So with regard to the Akasha and every effect after that, we use the terms it is asti, then bhati, it is an object of my knowledge. So this kind of vyavahara is there, and priyam is also there, because that is the Akasha is having some utility which is definitely useful for the world. So this kind of these three elements, that is the Asti, Bhati and Priyam, is available in every object in the creation, and with that plus 2 Nama and Rupa are also there. So there's a famous sloka, Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Nama, Rupam, Nama Iche, Yamsha Panchakam, Adyatrayam, Brahma Rupam, Maya Rupam, Tatodvayam, or Jagad Rupam, Tatodvayam. So the first 3, Asti, Bhati and Priyam in every object corresponds to Satyam, Jnanam and Anandam of Brahman, and Nama Rupa corresponds to the Mayic product, that is the transformation of Maya. That is, only because of Maya this Nama Rupa has come, whereas the Nama Rupa does not exist in or inhere in Brahman. So here, that same logic is used here for the Akasha, etc. The Brahman, Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam or Anandam of Brahman is available in the Akasha, etc. Whereas the Akasha, name, form and all that is not available in Brahman. So that is the idea here. Karane Brahmanito Akashadi Karyata na hiti. Paramatmataha Akashadi Abhave Brahmanaha Karanatapi na hiti Dashtantiko Astaha. So here, once we have determined through Vichara based on the Upanishad itself, the teaching of the Upanishad itself, once we have determined that the effect, that is the Akasha and the whole gross world is not there really, it does not have an existence apart from Brahman, then Brahman need not be called cause at all, because the causehood of Brahman is also no longer there. So it is only relative to the effect, but then when the effect has been rejected as non-existent really or ultimately, the causehood of Brahman is also rejected. We have to notice that the Brahman is not rejected, Brahman can't be rejected also, but only the causehood in Brahman has to be is now rejected or negated. Karye karanata ayata karane nahi karyata karanatvam tato gachet karyabhave visarataha. So next sloka, Ata Shuddham.
Ata Shuddham bhaved vastu yadvai vachama gocharam drashtavyam nrudghatenaiva drishtantena punah punaha. Atha, thereafter, Shuddham, pure, bhaved, remains, vastu, truth, yet which, why indeed, vacham, speech, agocharam, beyond, drashtavyam, should be realized, mrudghatena drishtantena, with the mud and pot example, eva, very, punaha, punaha, again and again.
There seems to be a alternative reading in the second line. Mrudghate naiva is one patha, whereas the other patha is mrudghate neva, that is mrudghatena iva. So this iva is appears to be the more preferred reading. So here the sloka says, Ata Shuddham Bhaved Vastu Yadvai Vachama Gocharam. So this now Brahman is pure, that is pure consciousness. It is not Saguna now. So Sagunatvam comes because of the Maya addition, but it's no longer Sagunatvam because the causehood has been removed now. Causehood has been rejected. Now the Brahman as the cause has been refined, and we have arrived at the Brahman which is no longer the cause. So that is a Shuddham Brahman. Shuddham Bhaved Vastu Yadvai Vachama Gocharam. So that Shuddha Brahman is beyond words. So it can't be indicated by any words at all. Because as we have seen earlier, a word can be used only where these 4 conditions are there. That is Jati, Guna, Kriya and Sambandha. So it belongs to some species, and then if an object belongs to some species, with the name of the species we can indicate the object, like a human or a cow, whatever. Then Jati, Kriya. So through action also we can indicate a object, like even if we do not know the person of a driver, by the name of by the function that he performs, we can indicate the person and do transactions also. So driver has come, the cook has come, things like that. So when there is a kriya, this is possible. Then the use of words is possible. Then guna, that is if there is an attribute like a black cow or a fat elephant or whatever. So this kind of attributes will also enable us to use words there. Then sambandha, that is connection. So by connection also we can use words like, for example, a person has got a lot of estate, then we call him an estate owner or a landlord or or if he is a very, very wealthy man, we call him crorepati or millionaire or whatever. So this kind of a sambandha also we can enables us to use words, even though we may not know the name of the person. Still, with the sambandha, which is sambandha with some other object, we can use words. But then with Brahman, all these are not possible because Brahman is nirguna. There is no attribute at all with Brahman. So no word with attributes can be used for Brahman. Then Kriya, Brahman is Nishkriyam. So no action-based words can be used. Then Sambandha, Brahman is Asanga. And apart from Brahman, there is nothing else at all according to Siddhanta. So Brahman can never ever be connected to anything. Then so the Sambandha Rupa Shabda also cannot be used. And then Jati, Brahman does not belong to any Jati because it's not a Vyakri of any Jati. So Brahman is no word through species also we can't indicate Brahman. All these are possible with Saguna Brahman or anything else in creation. But then since Brahman is such a unique thing, none of these possibilities are there. So Vacham Agocharam, it is beyond words. Then Drashtavyam Vridghatena Iva. So it has to be now realized with the example of clay pot and etc. with logic. So Drishtantena Punah Punaha. So we have to do this repeatedly because of our vasanas, the true nature of Brahman does not sink into us very easily. So there has to be an effort filled, or with effort one has to do this repeatedly till it sinks in a person's psyche. The commentary is Tata Kim Itaha Ataha. That is, even after we have rejected the causehood of Brahman, now what else is to be done? Atha iti. Atha anantaram karyakarana bhava nivruttau yat shuddham manovacham agocharam vastu tad bhavet. So now we have to arrive at the Shuddha Brahman, where the Karya and Karana, these two interdependent concepts have been given us. Yato vacho nivartante ityadi shruti prasiddhi dyotanartokshi shabdaha. So the shloka says, Ata shuddham bhaved vastu yadvai vachama gocharam drashtavyam vridghatena iva. So here the Yato vacho nivartante is the word. Yadvai vachama gocharam. So the commentary has got the word he, but I think it should have been why. Why also will mean prasiddhi. So in shloka it is why only. Maybe there was a reading Adha Shuddham Bhaved Vastu Yadhi Vachama Gocharam. In that case, he will be there. But then in the reading that we have in our book, it is why. Why also indicates prasiddhi only. That is, it is very, very popular or very well known. This shruti is very well known. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. It's in the Taittiriya Upanishad, which says words and the mind, speech and mind cannot reach Brahman. In the sense, Brahman cannot be imagined to be anything, nor words can indicate it. So here that Shruti passage is indicated by the word Vachama Gocharam. Nano buddhehe kshanikattvena ekada tatha vicharitye api punaha anyatha eva bhati ityataha drashtavyamiti. So nano buddhehe kshanikattvena ekada tatha vicharitye api. So the shloka says ultimately punaha drashtavyam. So this again and again, that repeated reiteration is required here. Why that is required? The Acharya gives the reason. Kshanikattvena ekada tatha vicharitepi. Since the buddhi in which alone we can make this kind of an analysis, the buddhi itself is very, very fluid. It is so very ephemeral. So it is so fast moving it is. So in order to get this idea very, very deep rooted in our mind, we have to give a very, very hard, regimented training to the buddhi or mind to understand this concept of Shuddha Brahman. So punah punaha drashtavyam. So again and again it has to be done repeatedly. That is why in the Brahma Sutras also we have got Avrittihi Asakrat Upadesha. There is a sutra in the 4th chapter. Avrittihi means repetition or reiteration is definitely required for this sadhana. Then next shloka, Anenaiva
अनेनैव प्रकारेण वृत्तिर्ब्रह्मात्मिका भवेत् उदेति शुद्धचित्तानां वृत्तिज्ञानं ततः परम्. Anena prakarena, by this process, eva alone, vrittihi, the awareness of or thought, brahmatmika, of truth, bhavet, comes, udeti, dawns, shuddha chittanam, in the mind of the pure, vritti jnanam, knowledge, tataha, thereafter, param, absolute state.
So, as a result of this practice, it becomes, that is, perfection is achieved by this practice. And what is that perfection? It is the culmination of the vichara into aparoksha jnanam, that is called akandakara vritti. Aparoksha jnanam, that is Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya. That kind of a culmination is definitely possible. That's what is stated in this sloka. Anenaiva prakarena vrittihi brahmatmika bhavet. So, with this manner, in this practice, it will reach the culmination through by giving the Brahmatma Jnana. Brahmatmika vritti, that is Akandakara vritti or Brahmakara vritti or Atmakara vritti. It is called Brahma Vidya also. So these are very various names. Udeti, this vritti will come about in the sense it will be the arisal of this vritti will mark the Aparoksha Jnanam and the cessation of avidya and samsara. Shuddha Chittana. So for whom does this happen? It happens to those with pure intellect, because only with the pure intellect this kind of a practice itself is possible. So Shuddha Chittanam, Vritti Jnanam Tatah Param. So this Vritti Jnanam is the Brahma Jnanam, that is the Aparoksha Jnanam, will happen as a result of this practice. So in the commentary, the Acharya says, Na kevalam ayam vicharaha jnana sadhanameva apitu jnana sadhanamapi ityaha aneneti. So the Acharya clarifies that it is not merely a jnana sadhanam. This vichara is not merely a jnana sadhanam. It also doubles up as a jnana sadhanam. So this nididhyasanam is also a very important part of jnanam. That's why the word nididhyasanam itself is defined as jnanam, continuous jnanam. So it is not merely vichara, it is also jnanam. In the sense, by deep vichara, for a very pure mind, this akandakara vritti is possible. But then, if the mind is not adequately pure, there is a need for jnanam, that is repetition for a very long time. Then the mind will acquire that purity because of this jnanam, because we have got this very popular idea in the Yoga Sutra also. They have admitted that this jnanam will progressively purify the mind. So, Jnana Nirdhuta Kalmashaya Namaha, that is one nama in the name of the Jeta Mahasanjanam. So, Jnana Nirdhuta Kalmasha, this Kalmasha is impurity that will be, that dross will be attenuated to a very large extent, and the mind will become extremely pure by virtue of this Jnana. So, Jnana is that, or Upasana, any of these practices, whether Saguna Jnanam or Saguna Upasana, all this will help very much in the purification of the mind. So, Udeti Suddha Chittana. So, na kevalamayam vicharaha jnana sadhanameva apitu jnana sadhanam api ityaha aneneti. Aneneva prakarena Suddha Chittanam vritti jnanam udeti tatah param brahmatmika vrittir bhavediti yojana. So, that is brahmatmika vritti is the akandakara vritti. Okay, so we can move on to the next shloka.
Karanam yatirekena pumanadau vilokayet anvayena punastadhi karye nityam prapashyati. Karanam, the cause. Yatirekena, by the process of negation. Puman, a person. Adau, first. Vilokayet, should perceive. Anvayena, by positive method, that is assertion. Punaha, thereafter. Tat, that, he, verily. Karye, in the effect. Nityam, always. Prapashyati, see or perceive.
So these two shlokas, 138 and 139, are considered to be a pair. We can see them together also. Karanam yatirekena puman adau vilokaye. So the first one has to consider or focus on the cause vatirekena, that is in the manner of without the cause, the effect also the karanam, the cause can exist. So that kind of an exercise is there. Anvayena punastadhi karye nityam prapashyati. So Anvaya and Vyatireka, these two terms are used here. So the Acharya gives the purpose of this here in this sloka. So in the commentary, so Punaha Taddi Karye Nityam Anvayena Prapashyati. So Karye Karanam. So he gives these two slokas as two practices, two different practices also. So when we read this commentary together, we will get a very clear idea of this. Tameva vicharam vishadayati dvabhyam karanamiti. So that the method of vichara is being explained in this shloka. Adau pratamam karanam vyatirekena karya virakena vicharayet. So the karanam has to be encouraged into by not linking the karyam. That is, without the dependence or without linking the effect idea, the karanam has to be encouraged into. Punaha tat karanam anvayena anuvritya karyepi nityam prapashyati. Then after that, one has to see the karanam, that is the cause, inhering in the effect. So first the cause has to be determined to be independent of the effect, and then the effect has to be seen as being endowed with or being inseparably endowed with or inseparably connected with the cause. So this kind of exercise is the first thought. Then next shloka, already karyehi karanam.
Karyehi karanam pasyet paschat karyam visarjayet. Karanatvam tato gachet avasishtam bhaven munihi. Karye, in the effect, he verily, karanam, the cause, pasyet, should see, paschat, then, karyam, the effect, visarjayet, should discard. Karanatvam, the cause, tato, then, nasyet, should be dissolved. Avasishtam, what remains, bhavet, he, munihi, the seeker, becomes one with the truth.
So here, this shloka, the drishtanta, that is the clay pot example, has to be the background, whereas here the focus is on Brahman and the world. So that is the focus here, on that is the focus here. Karyehi karanam pasyet. Then in the cause, in the effect, the cause has to be recognized as being inherent in it. Paschat karyam visarjayet. So after that, the karyam, that is the, once the person decides that, concludes that the effect is non-different from the cause, then the effect aspect of it has to be given up. Visarjayet. Karanasvam tato gachet avashishtam bhaven. So after that, after this, karanasvam, that is the cause would also, that label also that goes away. So when that also goes away, what remains is that Shuddha Brahman here. Then the aspirant, the sadhaka, identifies himself as that Shuddha Brahman, and that is what marks the Brahmakara Vritti or Akhandakara Vritti or Sarvatma Bhava. So in the shloka, in the commentary, the Acharya says, Atava evam vicharaya nityaha karyati. So he is saying that we can see it as a different exercise also. These two shlokas can be seen as two different exercises also. Atava evam vicharaya nityaha karyati. Adau karye karanameva vicharayet. Paschat karyam visarjayet na anusandadhyat. So first, the effect has to be, with effort, it has to be recognized in the effect, and then the effecthood has to be given up. That is, the effect is no longer there in the focus. It is only the cause. So here the famous shloka of the Swatma Nirupana, Kantini Daru. So that example of an elephant made of wood is taken up. So when a person focuses on the wood, the elephant, that is the name form elephant, will get to the background. But if a person focuses on the elephant, the wood will go to the background. But then here, the idea is to focus on the cause itself, but not on the name form aspect. So that is the exercise given here. So then when that happens, a person is focusing on the wood. For him, effect, that is the elephant, that is the name form, it does not come to the forefront at all. It is as good as not there at all, not being there at all. So that has to be achieved here. So karye, evam karyavarjane sati karanatvam swataha gachet. So when the effect is discarded or rejected intellectually, then the cause alone will remain. And the cause could, that is the name, label cause also goes away. Evam कार्यकारणवर्जने avashishtam sachinmatram munihi mananashilaha swayameva bhavediti. So when the causehood and the effecthood both are, or the first, the effecthood and the causehood both are rejected, what remains over is the pure Shuddha Brahman, and that Brahman is to be realized to be one so true self, non-different from oneself. Karyehi karanam pashyet paschat karyam visarjayet. Karanatvam tato gachet avashishtam bhaven munihi. So we will conclude here. Shastram Sharira Mimamsa Vedanta Parameshwaraha Acharya Shankaracharya Santume Janma Janmani Sriharim Paramanandam Upadeshtarameshwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham Aparokṣānubhūti Prochyate Moksha Siddhaye Saddhireva Prayatnena Vikshaniya Muhurmuhu Avine Sampannam Visaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vidushekhara Bharati Om